Saw him start the year 3-0 and 5-1 overall for the Miners. He's now 5-4 on the season. This is Evansville's starting lineup tonight. David Cronin leads off at second base. Keith Grieshaber, the center fielder, and batting in the two-hole. Ryan Long at third base hits third. Elijah McNamee, the right fielder, hitting cleanup. Dakota Phillips is the designated hitter, batting fifth. Taylor Lane is in left field tonight, batting in the sixth spot. Tanner Wietrich is the shortstop, hitting seventh. Jack Meggs is at first base tonight, batting in the eighth spot, and Rob Calabrese doing the catching, batting ninth. For Marty Anderson, he's now 5-4 in 15 starts with a 2.75 ERA. That's despite an ERA of over 4 in his last 5 starts, in which he's 0-3. And so you've seen how Anderson has kept the ERA low all year, and that's because he just hasn't been hit that hard. 78 hits and 78 and 2/3 innings, 58 hits allowed, 20 less hits than innings pitched, 32 runs, 24 earned. The big issue has been the walks, especially as of the last 5 starts. He has walked 55 batters this year and struck out 82. The league has hit only 209 off of Anderson. Out of Bainbridge, Georgia, 26 years old. He has not faced Evansville this year, although he has a pretty decent mark against them here in his Frontier League career. All-time Anderson against the Otters is 0-3, but with a 3.24 ERA in 16 and 2/3 innings with 17 strikeouts. Miners here on Stand Up for Blue Night are wearing the home white uniforms with the white pants. White letters and numbers on the uniform, black and gold stripe down the side of the pants, and they are wearing, as they do every Stand Up for Blue Night, the caps of the local police departments here in Southern Illinois. Marion, Carbondale, Carterville, Mount Vernon, all sorts of local police departments are represented here tonight for Southern Illinois. And for Evansville, they are wearing the alternate navy blue uniforms that they've worn the first 2 games of this series. White letters and numbers, gray pants, navy blue caps, maroon brims, and the gray E on the front here for the Otters. It is overcast here at Rent One Park, but it is a very nice night for baseball. 77 degrees at first pitch, and here in August, you'll take that every single time. Anderson will face Cronin, Grieshaber, and Long here in the top of the first to get underway. Cronin, the second baseman, who had a couple of hits last night. He is hitting .291, 3 home runs, 32 RBIs. As Anderson is set to deal, here's his first pitch to Cronin. It's a fastball in for a strike, and we are underway at 6:38. Count is 0-1 to Cronin. I'll give you the defense behind Anderson in just a second. Anderson here at home, 4-2 in 8 starts, as he's had a better ledger here at Rent One Park than away. He pitches inside on a breaking ball. It's 1-1. Left to right in the outfield, Curvin Mesquite, Joe Duncan, and Kyle Davis as usual. Taylor Sparks at third base, Yeltsin Gudino the shortstop, Jared Watkins at second base, and Jamie Smart at first. Arturo Nieto catches. Here's a 1-1 pitch. It's just a bit low and outside on a fastball again, 2-1. Anderson's ERA here at Rent One Park this year in 55 1/3 innings is 1.46. He has pitched longer into ball games here in Marion as well, as there's a swing and a foul back to the net behind home plate by Cronin. It's now even at 2-2. The strikeout to walk ratio is vastly better for Anderson here at on the home ballpark. 50 strikeouts to 27 walks at home compared to a 32 to 28 ratio away from home. Anderson requests and receives a new baseball. The batting average is also 60 points lower here at home than on the road. And kind of ironically, Anderson has done better against righties than lefties, although righties have hit him for more power. Cronin, a left-handed batter, leading off the ball game, just underway, scoreless in the top of the first. It'll be a 2-2 to David Cronin. Anderson into that slow windup, delivers a fastball just below the knees, 3-2. Anderson steps off the back of the mound. Calling balls and strikes here tonight is Mike Fichter, and the umpire on the bases is James Purnell. 3-2 pitch to Cronin. Swinging a foul off to the left, out of play. It's still 3-2. Last start for Anderson, very rocky. Career high 7 walks and 7 runs allowed as well, a season high, 4 of which were earned on 6 hits in 2 2/3 innings. Did give up a home run as well. 3-2 pitch again is up and in, and there's a leadoff walk to Cronin. Not an ideal start for Anderson. And up comes Keith Grieshaber, who's hitting .284 now with 2 homers and 40 RBIs. Yesterday, Grieshaber had a 3-hit day and drove in his 40th. All of his hits were singles, 2 on the infield and 1 into the outfield. An athletic right-handed hitter playing center field for the second time in this series. Cronin will be held on by Jamie Smart at first. Anderson is set from the third base side of the rubber and he deals. Fastball in for a strike underneath the letters, 0-1. Just like Chase Cunningham, when Anderson has gotten hit, he has been hit early in ball games. If he's able to work through the first couple of innings and not allow a run, that is when he settles in. There's a step and a toss to first. Not only that, but Anderson works at his own pace. He slows things down with men on base. He's been very effective working around all of those walks, working around the base runners that he has allowed. Left-hander is set, and here's the 0-1. Backdoor breaking ball swung on and missed. That had some real downward bite to it. Anderson's breaking ball can be curveball-like or slider-like. It's why it's a slurve, technically. Also has a changeup. 0-2 the count to Grieshaber. No score, top of the first. Wind is breezing gently out of the south. And out toward left center field. 0-2. Another breaking ball grounded to second, could be 2. Watkins flips to Godinho. There's 1, and he throws to first in time for the double play. That's a clutch double play induced by Anderson, 4-6-3. That clears the bases for Ryan Long, and there are now 2 outs here in the top of the first. Long, the third baseman, hitting .293, 14 home runs, 75 runs batted in. That's best in the Frontier League. And for Long, he is probably one of the candidates for MVP at this rate, with how Evansville has done as a team this year and with Long putting together yet another great season. First pitch by Anderson, lefty to lefty. Fastball outside for ball 1. If you take just his career numbers against the minors, he's the MVP every year. Anderson's 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. That was a changeup, I think. And the count is now 1-1. That pitch looked like a fastball and then slowed down at the last minute. Even though it was clocked at the fastball speed, perhaps it was just a fastball that had some movement. 1-1 is off speed and in the zone once again at the knee level. Strike 2. 1-2 the count on Ryan Long. 1 strike away from ending the inning is Marty Anderson after the leadoff base on balls. Lights are on here. Sun trying to peek out from behind the clouds on the third base side. It's been cloudy all day. Here's a 1-2 breaking ball, swung on and fought off high in the air off of third and out of play. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Long, the Texas native from Crandall. Played at Texas Tech University as well. Last year hit .292, 12 homers, 55 RBIs, so about the same numbers as this year, just with less runs batted in. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Off speed is down and away. Good pitch by Anderson, but now it's even at 2-2. Long's a 2-time All-Star in 2018 and 2019. Joined the Otters mid-year in 2017, so didn't have a chance to be an All-Star that year. Break-even pitch by Anderson. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. And Marty Anderson with a scoreless first inning with a Casasa strikeout of Ryan Long to end it. It's brought to you by First Southern Bank. Local people, local decisions. Community banking at its best through a half inning of play. Evansville nothing and Southern Illinois coming to bat on 103.5 ESPN.com. streak at third base, hitting fifth. Arturo Nieto catching and hitting in the sixth hole. Joe Duncan will bat seventh in today's game in center field. Jared Watkins is the second baseman hitting eighth. Kervin Mesquite, the left fielder, batting in the ninth spot. Sittinger's numbers on the year are stellar. He's made 5 appearances, 4 starts. 1 save, in fact, in relief. And 1-2 record despite a .69 ERA. 26 innings, 16 hits, 5 runs, only 2 of which are earned. 9 walks and 38 strikeouts. League has hit 174 off of Sittinger so far. As Godinho swings at the first pitch and grounds it to shortstop, Tanner Wietrich has it, and he throws out Godinho at first. 1 pitch and 1 out for Sittinger here in the last of the first. Yeltsin Godinho hitting .351, 1 homer and 15 RBIs entering this game, as Wawu will stand in. Oh, it's great to see Wawu back in the lineup. Miners have been bit hard by the injury bug. In the span of 48 hours, they lost Cole Cook for the year to an arm injury, and then they lost both Wawu and Obregon, 2 of the top 3 batters in their lineup. 2 very important batters in their lineup as well. And they were both knocked out on Friday in Joliet. Miners have been without all 3 of them ever since. Pitch is strike 1 from Sittinger, the right-hander, who played in the Tigers organization. There's the off-speed, and there's another called strike on the inside corner. It's 0-2. Sittinger played 4 years in the Tigers system, split time between Double-A and High-A this year. Originally from LaGrange, Ohio, 6'1", 210 pounds. The 0-2. Down and away with a breaking pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's a 17th rounder by Detroit out of Division II Ashland University in his home state. Also played 2 years at the Division I level at Marshall in West Virginia. The 1-2 pitch to Wawu is off speed and below the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That'll set up an interesting matchup when Kyle Davis comes to the plate, as he is a West Virginia University alum. West Virginia and Marshall, both in the state of West Virginia. They don't necessarily like each other all that much. They're big rivals. Wawu swings and flies one into shallow center field. In comes Grieshaber. He will make the catch. Good jump by Grieshaber off the bat there. And 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the first, no score. That'll bring up Jamie Smart. Smart, the Miner first baseman, hitting .294 for the year between the Miners and Gateway. 5 home runs, 53 runs batted in. Righty versus lefty. Sittinger into the wind. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball just below the knees, 91 miles an hour. 4-1. For Sittinger this year in the Tigers system, 20 games in relief. As there's an off-speed pitch floating in there for a strike, 1-1. His ERA was elevated, 7.39. In 28 innings, he struck out 29, also walked 18. And was let go. There's a fastball, a good one, but just outside the zone. And it's now 2-1 on Jamie Smart with the bases empty and 2 outs in the first inning. Sittinger's 2-1 offering. Another fastball. That one just low and outside off the outside edge of the plate. 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1 pitch to Smart. Called strike on a fastball on the outside corner there, 3-2, 92 miles an hour there from Brandon Sittinger. So now a payoff pitch to Smart. The right-hander deals. That's down and away, and there is ball 4. A 2-out walk drawn by Smart, and that will set up the matchup. The aforementioned matchup between Ohio natives and West Virginia college rivals, Kyle Davis and Brandon Sittinger, both from Ohio. We told you that Sittinger's from LaGrange and Davis is from Cincinnati. Davis went to West Virginia University, and Sittinger started his college career at Marshall. He didn't finish there, so he's not an alum, so to speak. 288 for Davis on the batting average front, 13 homers, 53 RBIs. He drills one to deep left field. Lane goes back. No chance he's going to get this one. It's into the trees. Fly-by-night away from here. Kyle Davis continues his absolutely stellar month of August. A 2-run blast with 2 outs, and the Miners take a 2-0 lead in the first. Country roads take him home. 14th home run for Kyle Davis. First pitch swinging, he tees off on Sittinger. And the Mountaineer in the minors lineup strikes the former Thundering Herd. Boy, Davis has been a revelation here in August. He's put it all together here this last month of the regular season here for Southern Illinois. Quite fun to watch. Taylor Sparks takes a fastball up and in for ball one. He's looking to start a new hitting streak. Going 0 for 4 last night with a trio of strikeouts. He's now at .255 with 8 home runs and 22 RBIs as a minor. 1-0 pitch. A wave and a miss on the fastball inside 1-1. Sparks has been a great hitter here in August as well. Batting average up near 300. As there's another fastball strike, and the count is 1-2. Sparks also played a double in AAA in the Reds organization last year, so a couple of guys who've made it up to the higher levels of affiliated ball here matching up. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and Sittinger expands the zone a little bit, strikes out Sparks to end the inning, but a 2-out walk is followed by a 2-run home run by Davis. 2 runs on 1 hit, nobody left, and after 1, the Miners up 2-0 on the Otters here at Rent One Park on Stand Up for Blue Knight. Back after this on 103.5 ESPN.com. As well, and production. Marty Anderson will look for the shutdown inning after walking the leadoff man. He got a double play and a strikeout to face the minimum in the first, and it will be McNamee, Phillips, and Lane due up for the Otters here in the second. So the Miners get 2 runs in the first off of Brandon Sittinger for the second straight time that they've faced him this year, although a bit different circumstances. First pitch to the righty, McNamee, is taken for a strike on the outer third of the plate. McNamee leading the Otters in batting average, .305, with a homer and 11 RBIs. Rookie out of Mississippi State. Anderson winds and delivers, 0-1. Breaking ball, grounded up the third base line, right to the backhand glove of Sparks. He sets and throws a strike down to first, and there's a very quick first out for Marty Anderson. Well, much better start tonight for Southern Illinois than last night when the Otters got 4 runs in the first 2 innings off of Andrew Bernstein. That was all Bernstein would allow. He kept the Miners in it with a quality start. He had to work around base runners every frame. 10 hits allowed in 6 innings. But he was able to keep the Miners in the ballgame. The offense, however, never got started. Held to just 6 hits and a pair of runs while stranding the bases loaded twice. Dakota Phillips had a very good first day of this series. Yesterday, he was hitless with 3 strikeouts as he takes ball 1 low and in. 240 with the batting average for Phillips, the DH today, after playing first base the first 2 nights. 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. Here's a breaking ball strike from Anderson, 1-1. Great crowd here on this Thursday on Stand Up for Blue Night. Miners honoring their local law enforcement. Got a chance to talk to the new Marion Chief of Police on the concourse tonight. There's the breaking ball again. Through the front door, it is another strike. It's 1-2. He's been on the job for about 2.5 months, and he's from Marion, but he's been in law enforcement for over 25 years, mostly with the Illinois State Police, but now he's back home. Glad to have Chief David Fitz on the pregame show today. Here's the 1-2. Fastball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pregame show being the live one on the concourse for all the fans in the ballpark tonight. Miners wearing caps from local police departments to help honor the local law enforcement officials. There's another front door slider, but it's just inside, and the count now full at 3-2 to Phillips. Anderson readies, and here's the payoff pitch. Breaking ball, grounded up the first baseline. A 2-bouncer right to Jamie Smart. He's going to run to first, and he beats Phillips there. 2 up and 2 down. Here in the top of the second inning, Miners leading 2-0 over the Otters here in Marion. And here is Taylor Lane. What a great choice for a walk-up song for Lane from the production crew. Playing the theme song from the show Cops. It's a song by the reggae group Inner Circle, called, of course, Bad Boys. Taylor Lane is sitting .291 with 15 RBIs. He grounds one back to the mound. It rolls up the arm of Anderson, but with not a lot of speed. Anderson is able to recover right on the mound and throw out Lane. And Lane is retired to help Anderson through a 1-2-3 inning in the second, a shutdown inning as well. After 1 inning and a half here in Marion, it is 2-0 Southern Illinois on 103.5 ESPN.com. Bottom of the second inning, Miners have a 2-0 lead early on the Evansville Otters. Arturo Nieto, Joe Duncan, and Jared Watkins due up against Brandon Sittinger. And the first pitch by the right-hander. Fastball inside and low, ball 1. 2-run homer by Kyle Davis after a 2-out full-count walk to Jamie Smart. That got the Miners on the board. Davis's 14th home run and RBI's number 54 and 55 as there's a ground ball single the other way past Cronin and into right field for a base hit leading off for Nieto. Batting average .216 for Nieto, much higher here at home than on the road though. 2 home runs, 18 RBIs. And up comes Joe Duncan. Duncan had a good day yesterday, went 1 for 3, scored a run and also drove in a run, drew a bases loaded walk for the RBI. He's now hitting .239, a homer and 34 RBIs in his second season as a minor, first full year. Everyday center fielder this year for Southern Illinois. First pitch righty to righty. There's the breaking ball by Sittinger. It slides inside on the righty Duncan. 1 ball, no strikes. Nieto held on by Jack Meggs. Meggs usually an outfielder playing first base today for the Otters. Sittinger from the stretch, 1-0 pitch. That's off speed. That one a called strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Highland, Illinois native Joe Duncan near Sauget, the home of the Gateway Grizzlies. And they're currently in a rain delay up in the St. Louis area between Schaumburg and Gateway. They've yet to get started. There's weather around the area, but no weather here. Very nice night, at least for the first 2 innings here for baseball, as there's a ground ball into the Evansville dugout on the third base side by Duncan. He's now behind 1-2. It rained, it poured all morning long here in Southern Illinois. There was standing water on the concourse all over the place. That's how much rain fell this morning, but it cleared up this afternoon. Almost as if the baseball gods knew there was a game to be played today. And a big crowd on hand as well here at Rent One Park, scheduled to come in. Pitch is fouled off to the right, high in the air, and out of play by Duncan as he stays alive. Righty versus righty. Sittinger sets. And another 1-2. Lifted in the air to right field, coming on and now drifting back a couple steps is McNamee to make the catch. Duncan trying to go the other way like Nieto did, but he is retired for out number 1, and up comes Jared Watkins, who is looking to snap out of a late season funk. He is 0 for his last 18 at the plate, including 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts last night. Very rare to see Watkins strike out even multiple times in a game, let alone 3 times. Batting average now at .229 for Watkins, with a sacrifice fly in this series along with 1 RBI. Fastball by Sittinger is down and away for ball 1. It's possible that Watkins is going through what most rookies go through. You hear it all the time in various sports. The so-called rookie wall. 1-0. And it's down on the turf and blocked by Calabrese. 2 balls and no strikes. You look at the batting average by month for Jared Watkins. He got up to a really hot start. It's .273 in June after joining the team, .230 in July, and he's hitting .125 in 24 at-bats this month. A left-handed hitter who puts the bat on the baseball more often than not. 2-0 pitch is swung on and sliced foul down the left field line and onto the lawn, out of play. 2-1. This is the most baseball that Watkins has played probably in his life, though, after completing his senior season, a full college season at Indiana State. And then immediately joining the ranks of the pros. There's a 2-1. Swinging a foul straight back to the backstop. And it's now 2-2 to Watkins. He hails from Washington, Illinois. He played at Indiana State University in the Missouri Valley Conference. Had a very good season as a senior. Very good season as a team as well for the Sycamores, who ended up nationally ranked at the end of the year. Nieto off of first. 2-0 Miners, bottom of the second, 1 out. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Down and in with a breaking ball. That's the pitch that Watkins could not hold up on last night from Jake Welch. Held up on that one, and now it's 3-2. On deck, another struggling Miners hitter, Kervin Mesquite. Sittinger readies for a payoff pitch, and here it comes. Watkins takes a fastball outside, and there's a walk by Jared Watkins. Watkins prefers to swing the bat. He doesn't draw too many of the base on balls. That is his 7th walk this year in 141 at-bats. Brings up Kervin Mesquite, who's also struggling recently. Mesquite, switch hitter who will bat left-handed, is 0 for 9 in this series and 0 for his last 12 overall. Hitting .212 now on the season with 4 runs batted in, 3 of which came over the weekend in Joliet. First pitch by Sittinger, down and away for ball number 1. Runners at first and second. Watkins has better speed behind Nieto. Miners looking to expand a 2-0 lead. The sun is now out partially. It is shining on the left center field gap and straightaway center here at Rent One Park. A swing and a miss on the off speed by Sittinger. Good changeup there. And Mesquite is even at a ball and a strike. Well, good to see the sun out after what happened earlier today with all the rain. Miners trying to have some sunlight in the win column. There's a swing and a fly ball, shallow right center. Drifting in Grieshaber, he is under it, and Grieshaber makes the catch. Runners have to hold on that ball. And now 2 outs, bringing up Yeltsin Gudino. Miners trying to get some sunshine back in their lives as well before a very long overnight bus ride. We mentioned how the Miners, throughout the year how the Miners got a lot of long road trips out of the way early in the season. Well, this was the exception. It's been on the schedule all year, and Miners have come through by getting a sleeper bus for this trip. So at the very least, everybody will be able to stretch out and get some rest. Yeltsin Gudino 0 for 1. He hit the first pitch that he saw to shortstop for a ground ball out in his first at-bat. A 16-game hit streak for Gudino entering this game today. Here's the pitch. Down in the turf away with a breaking ball. Good block by Calabrese. 1-0. Even more remarkable than Gudino's 16-game hit streak, which is obviously remarkable. Gudino, when he's come up with men in scoring position, he has been stellar. And by stellar, we mean hitting .500 with men in scoring position in 22 at-bats. That's including last night's. He takes off speed and just below the knees for ball 2 here from Sittinger. Sittinger rarely gives up hits with men in scoring position, just 1 this year, in fact. Right-hander readies, and the righty-to-righty 2-0 pitch inside with a fastball 3-0. That 1 hit that he's given up in now 21 at-bats, including the one just now by Mesquite with men in scoring position. The 1 hit did come with 2 outs, which is the situation here. Miners lead 2-0, bottom of the second, 2 on and 2 out. Here's the 3-0 pitch. It's taken all the way. Called strike with a fastball on the inside corner. Sittinger still working in a hitter's count. Looks in for the signs from Calabrese and gets one he likes. Here's a 3-1. Drive down the left field line by Gudino, but he's out in front. It goes foul. One bounce off the top of the lawn and off the black fence near the tree line. 3-2 now. Gudino was looking on a fastball 3-1. He got one and was just out in front of it. So now at 3-2 with 2 outs, the runners will be moving, which could help Gudino's cause. With Nieto at second, Watkins at first. Here is the payoff pitch by Sittinger. Down on the turf, it's ball 4, and the runners will trot the rest of the way down to second and third as Gudino walks. Now that extends an on-base streak to 17 in a row and loads the bases for Gianfranco Wawu. Wawu hit a fly ball to center field his first at-bat tonight. Returning to the Miners' starting lineup after missing a total of 4 games. Wawu this year with the bases loaded, only 6 at-bats, but he's 3 for 6 and has driven in 9. So the bases loaded and 2 outs here. Nieto at third. Watkins at second and Godinho at first. Miners a chance to add to their lead if Wahoo can come up with a clutch hit. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball spins high, ball one. Sittinger has thrown ball one to every batter this inning on the first pitch. Righty versus righty. Here is the 1-0. Fastball swung on, high pop-up, third base side, foul ground. Long comes toward the dugout. He's got the room there, and he makes the catch. And Wahoo is retired as Sittinger gets out of trouble. No runs for the Miners, 1 hit, and they leave the bases loaded for the third time in the last 2 nights. Through 2 innings of play, though, it's 2-0 Southern Illinois over Evansville, and we'll be back after this on 1035ESPN.com. And Saturday, also a 6:05 Central Time first pitch. Frank Moscatello against Michael Austin. Matchup of hard-throwing right-handers there. And then Sunday is probably the game of the series. Nick Gallagher, a rookie, starting for Washington, but Chase Cunningham making his very first start back at Wild Things Park. He was a 3-year member of Washington's roster before being traded to the Miners in the offseason. And he'll start the finale at 4:35 Central Time on Sunday afternoon before the Miners return back home. Tanner Wheatrich leads off for Evansville here in the top of the third and takes ball one inside from Marty Anderson. Wheatrich, Meggs, and Calabrese will be due up this inning for Evansville. The left-handers 1-0. Backdoor breaking ball in for a strike. 267 batting average for Wheatrich between the Evansville and River City time that he's had. 7 runs batted in. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, swung on, fouled back. That one a bit more of a frisbee-like slider from Anderson, who can do different things with his breaking pitch. Count is 1-2. Turned into a beautiful night for baseball. It's supposed to be quite nice in Washington as well. Join us on 1035ESPN.com for every minute of that series. Here's a 1-2. Fastball grounded to the right side, and that'll sneak through into right field for a base hit. Watkins unable to get there. A leadoff single, and the first hit of the game for Evansville for Tanner Wheatrich. Up comes Jack Meggs, the first baseman tonight. hitting .234, 2 home runs and 25 RBIs. Not sure whether Meggs has played first base before. He's listed as an outfielder. Every time the Miners had seen him this year, he had been in the outfield. A left-handed swinger for Anderson, the southpaw. Wietrich has stolen 2 bases in 2 attempts this year. He's held close by Smart. And Anderson kicks and fires. Fastball, bunt shown by Meggs, kind of running up like a softball player would, but that's a strike with the third baseman Sparks charging in. Strike 1 on Meggs. Anderson gets a sign from Nieto. And will step and throw to first. Once again with men on base. Anderson likes to slow it down. Got a double play after a leadoff base runner in the first inning, a walk by David Cronin. And a 1-2-3 inning with 3 ground ball outs in the second. Oh, 0-1 to Meggs. Here's the left-hander's pitch. Again, bunt shown. Bunt back to the mound. Anderson will field. Fire to second base. There's one. Godinho wings it to first. It's wide, and it bounces into the Miners' dugouts. And that will be an error, sending Meggs, who would have been safe on the fielder's choice, down to second. And ends up being a fielder's choice anyway. And Godinho commits an error for the second game in a row. Very rare to see that. That bunt was hard enough that Anderson was able to get the lead runner, but there's a runner at second base anyway with 1 out recorded. So in empirical form, that did the job. And the Otters now have a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Rob Calabrese. 1-6 on the putout there. Lefty to righty, Calabrese hitting .254, 8 home runs and 20 RBIs. First pitch by Anderson is the backdoor breaking ball just outside ball 1. Not only that, but Meggs has more speed than Wietrich does. So even though the Miners are able to get the out at second with the error, it kind of works in Evansville's favor. 1-0 pitch home to Calabrese. Left-hander fires. Runner goes for third. Pitches a breaking ball, and it's a strike, I think. But Meggs is able to steal third straight up. I think that was a strike anyway. Looked like one. Mike Fichter didn't make a signal, so he's going to have to say what the count is before we get back to baseball here. They put up a ball on the board. That certainly looked like like it was over the plate from up here. Well, apparently it's 2-0. Stolen base by Meggs is his 21st of the year. Miners will play their infield back here. They'll trade a run for an out. 2-0 pitch. Fastball right on the inside corner there. It's 2-1. Now Anderson working with a runner at third and only 1 out. Gets a sign from Nieto. Straightens up from the stretch. And here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Good changeup. Down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-0 Miners here in the top of the third. That is being threatened here by the Otters. Anderson is even in the count, 2-2, looking for a good pitch here. He gets the sign from Nieto. Here comes a 2-2 by Anderson. Breaking ball swung on, hit high in the air to left center field. This is going to stay in the yard, but it'll get the run in. Mesquite goes back to his left and makes the catch. Meggs tags at third and he scores. That run is unearned for now. And Evansville is on the board. It's now 2-1 Miners. RBI for Calabrese is his 21st, and up comes David Cronin, who worked a walk leading off the first inning in his first plate appearance. In a roundabout way, the leadoff man comes around to score. Anderson, lefty to lefty, from the full windup now, delivers. First pitch breaking ball to Cronin. It's just a bit outside for ball one. So the Miners stranding the bases loaded in the last half inning. Evansville comes right back and scores. 1-0 fastball, swung on, popped up high in the air to shallow left. In comes Mesquite. He's got a read on it all the way, and he makes the catch. That retires the side. Anderson's able to minimize damage. The run remains unearned thanks to the error. But one run on one hit for Evansville. They leave nobody. And after 2.5, it's now 2-1 Southern Illinois. And we'll be back after this on the Southern Illinois on 1035 ESPN.com. Bottom of the third inning here in Marion. The Miners lead the Evansville Otters 2-1. Smart, Davis, Sparks due up. Lefty, righty, righty against Brandon Sittinger, who has thrown 41 pitches in the first 2 innings. He has walked 3 and struck out only 1. Miners have 2 runs on 2 hits. Davis with a 2-run homer in the first, staking the Miners to an early lead. Smart takes down and away for ball 1, and it was Smart getting on base in front of Davis with a 2-out walk that caused that ball to be a 2-run shot rather than a solo homer. Fastball by Sittinger is low and away again, 2 balls and no strikes. It's time for a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Quit eating your burgers off a coffee table. If you want to eat a burger, put it on a bar. Follow your instincts to Buffalo Wild Wings for the new All-American Cheeseburger. Smart swings and misses on a 2-0 fastball that was off his barrel, down and away. 2-1. They're still in a rain delay. Schaumburg is at Gateway. And once that game gets started, Matt Miller for the Boomers, Jordan Barrett for Gateway. 2-1 fastball just outside, 3-1. Smart ahead in the counts, getting a hitter's count. Lake Erie leading 2-1 over Windy City, top of the 7th in Ohio. Bottom of the third, River City now with a 2-0 lead on Joliet. Going for a series sweep there, as that fastball again from Sittinger is just outside, and that's a leadoff walk. The 4th walk of the game for Sittinger against Smart. He's increased the walk total by about 50% here in just the first 3 innings tonight. Washington up 2-1 on Florence, bottom of the 6th. The Wild Things have a bus ride back across the state of Ohio to Western PA to take on the Miners as well for tomorrow night's contest at Wild Things Park. Not nearly as long of a bus ride as the Miners do, though, about half the distance. There's the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll keep you up to date. Kyle Davis 1 for 1 with a 2-run homer. He swings at the pitch and golfs it deep in the air to left center field. On the move, Grieshaber still back near the left center field wall, leaps at the wall, and he cannot make the catch. Smart held up near second base to see if that ball was indeed caught. It'll be a double for Kyle Davis, once again swinging at the first pitch and absolutely teeing off. If that was a different ballpark here in the Frontier League, that would have been out of here. Keith Grieshaber with a great effort as they're showing it on the big board here. He leaped up. Ball was over the top level of the wall when he made the leap. And now the Evansville trainer and Andy McCauley, the manager, are going to go out and check on Grieshaber. That was a play that could have shaken up most of the folks in the house tonight, as Grieshaber made the leap and banged into the Mountain Dew sign to the left of the gate in center field. That wall is padded, but hitting it at the speed Grieshaber did still hurts probably. And the Miners are set up now with second and third and nobody out, looking to get the run back that Evansville scored in the top of this inning, as Taylor Sparks will be the batter. Grieshaber's going to be okay. Brother of former Miners outfielder Kyle Grieshaber, who played for a couple of weeks for Southern Illinois in 2014. There was a great exchange between myself and the Miners, one of the Miners' host moms, Lisa Wood. She was the host mom for Kyle Grieshaber when he was a Miner, and Kyle Grieshaber came out to see the Miners and Otters play on opening night at Bosse Field this May. And they took a picture together. So Taylor Sparks has a chance here. He has struggled with men in scoring position in this series. Came up twice last night and could not bring in any runs, struck out twice. He has struck out once tonight. He swings and foul tips the ball into the glove of Calabrese for strike one here. Also last night, a fly ball to the warning track by Sparks in the one ball he put in play. 0-1 from Sittinger. Fastball inside that time, 1 ball, 1 strike. Smart at third, Davis at second. 2-1 the score. In the bottom of the third inning, nobody out. Sittinger's 1-1. A swing and a miss again on the fastball, 1-2. A ground ball to the right side will bring a run in. A fly ball reasonably deep into the outfield will do the same. Here comes a 1-2 pitch by Sittinger. Another swing and a miss, strike 3. That's exactly what Sittinger wanted. He's gotten Sparks now on strikes twice. Brings up Arturo Nieto, who singled the other way to right field in his first at-bat against Sittinger. And now it'll be Nieto who looks to do the job, still with 1 out in the inning. Ground ball to the right side, fly ball reasonably deep into the outfield. Will also get a run in here. Righty versus righty. First pitch by Sittinger. Breaking ball is just low. 1 ball and no strikes there. Right-hander's 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball fouled off into the net behind the plate. 1-1 to Nieto. Otters play their infield back here. They will also trade a run for an out, especially if it's hit to second. Sittinger's 1-1. Ground ball toward third. It is scooped on one, short hop by Long. The throw down to first is picked out of there by Meggs, and now there are 2 outs. Hit hard by Nieto, but that is the wrong place to hit it. And now it's up to Joe Duncan, who has to come up with a base hit. Now 2 outs in the inning. Got to execute in run-scoring situations. Duncan flew out to right in his first at-bat. Pitch by Sittinger is a fastball, rather breaking ball strike at the knees, 0-1. Sittinger a chance to get off the hook here after walking the leadoff man and then allowing an absolute moonshot of a double to left center by Davis. Second and third now 2 outs. 0-1, ground ball wide to third. It's past a diving Long into the outfield, a base hit. Scoring from third is Smart. Stopping at third is Davis. And Duncan comes up huge. A 2-out RBI single to get the Miners a run. It is now 3-1 Southern Illinois. Duncan bailing out the Miners there. Leadoff walk comes around to score. Up comes Jared Watkins. 35th RBI for Duncan on the year. Watkins worked a walk his first time up. Runners at the corner, still 2 outs. Long couldn't get to that ball. Perfectly located between the shortstop Wietrich and Long in this 5.5 hole, so to speak. That fastball sails outside from Sittinger, 1-0. 5.5 because in official scoring language, third baseman is number 5 and the shortstop is number 6. So you add the 2, divide it by 2, and you get 5.5. 1-0 off speed is down low, just below the knees of Watkins. 2 balls and no strikes. Duncan with good speed trailing at first, held on by Meggs. Davis is the lead runner at third. Here comes a 2-0 by Sittinger. Fastball hit in the air to left center field. Playable though, racing to his right Grieshaber. He's called off by Lane, who had that ball tail right to him. Lane makes the catch. That retires the side. Miners do get 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 2 on base. After 3, back to a 2-run lead for the good guys. 3-1 Southern Illinois on 103.5 ESPN.com. Grieshaber, Long, and McNamee due up against Marty Anderson, whose run that he allowed in the last inning is unearned thanks to an error. First up is Grieshaber, who hit into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. Lefty to righty, Anderson fires. Fastball outside, ball one. That was a big double play. That was a leadoff walk in the first that put the man on base to start the game for Anderson. And the double play erased him, and then Long got a strikeout, and Anderson was out of the frame. There's a fastball just outside, ball two. Anderson looking for a shutdown inning for the second time tonight after the two-out clutch single by Joe Duncan increased the lead to 2 runs again. 2-0 pitch, topped on the ground to third. It's gloved on the move by Sparks. He sets and throws down to first, and drifting into foul territory to make the catch, avoiding the base runner, is Jamie Smart on the back end. That's in time for out number 1. Brings up Ryan Long, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging, the only strikeout Anderson has in the contest. But more importantly, he's also walked only 1, and that has been the big issue for Anderson over his last 5 starts. He's 0-3 in those 5 starts. Despite a pretty respectable ERA just north of 4, it's the walks that has troubled him. 24 walks in 22 innings pitched in those 5 starts combined. As there's a line shot toward right center field coming on, and playing it on a hop is Joe Duncan. A base hit for Ryan Long. What else is new here in Southern Illinois? And a single puts a man on first for Elijah McNamee. If Anderson throws the ball over the strike zone, if he throws the ball in the zone, he is going to have great success. The historical numbers all throughout his Frontier League career tell that story. He does not give up a lot of base hits at all, but he does surrender the walk from time to time. At hit for the Otters, their second of the game. Here's the pitch to McNamee, a fastball riding high, ball 1. McNamee hit a ground ball to third base in his first at-bats. He's 0 for 1. Long held on at first by Smart. 1 out in the 4th. Here's a 1-0 pitch by Anderson. The changeup finds the low level of the zone at the knee level for a strike. And the count is 1-1. Good downward movement on that changeup. Double play depth here for the Miners infield, hoping for a ground ball. Left-hander is set. Here's the 1-1. Fastball fouled off into the net behind the plate, 1-2. Night beginning to fall here in Southern Illinois. Weather around the general area all day. Heavy rain came through this morning in Marion, but it cooled off, and then the precipitation stopped falling right about, I would say 1:30, 2 o'clock. Turned into a really nice night here on Stand Up for Blue Night. Good crowd in the house. Anderson is set, looks over at Long, and now will toss to first. Long is 9 for 11 in stolen base attempts this season. Otters do have a few burners on their roster. Long can run, but he's more adept with a bat in his hand. It'll be a 1-2 to McNamee. Anderson holds the set, now delivers. Breaking ball inside, a slider with some good lateral action. It is swung on and hit high in the air down the left field line and foul and well out of play. We'll do it again at 1-2. Nieto gives Anderson a sign and sets up inside on McNamee. Here comes a 1-2. Fastball is a little elevated and hacking late, and getting a piece was McNamee to stay alive. Still a ball and 2 strikes. 3-1 Miners, out hitting Evansville 4-2 to this point. Top of the fourth here at Rent One Park. Last game of the series. Miners bus up to Washington after the game. Anderson holds the set again. Here's another 1-2. It's a fastball down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. McNamee, a rookie out of Mississippi State. Of course, the Diamond Dogs had a great year. They usually have great years. 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. A late swing once again by McNamee on the fastball. This time he could not get a piece. If he did, it was just barely, and Nieto made the catch. Casasa strikeout for Marty Anderson. There's out number 2 in the fourth. Brought to you by First Southern Bank. Local people, local decisions. Community banking at its best. It'll bring up Dakota Phillips, who's 0 for 1 with a ground ball to first base in his first at bat tonight. Phillips, like McNamee, like Long at first, is from Texas. He's from Nacogdoches. And he is a true rookie out of Tennessee Wesleyan. Lefty to lefty matchup. Here is the first pitch. And it's not even a pitch, it's a toss to first. You know, on occasion, because Anderson works so deliberately and holds the set for a long time with men on base, on occasion we've called the pitch or started to call the pitch, and then he decides not to throw the pitch. He throws to the base. I should know better at this point than to get ahead of Anderson. There's a breaking ball, and there's a called strike to Phillips, 0-1. So often you hear about pace of play in today's world of baseball. Well, Anderson, if he were a major league pitcher, he'd be one of the exceptions. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, fouled off, the end of the bat. Backing out of play by Phillips, it's 0-2. If he was up in the big leagues, Anderson would probably give the, he would probably be an example of what not to do in terms of the pace of play, in terms of trying to speed the game up. Because he works at his own pace. Slows things down, very deliberate. He has a sign from Nieto, and it'll be an 0-2 to Phillips, but time is called now at the plate by Phillips. Runner at first is Long with 2 outs. Miners lead is 3-1 in the top of the fourth. 0-2 pitch by Anderson. Swing and a miss, struck him out on another fastball. Another Casasa strikeout, back-to-back to end the inning. And that is also brought to you by First Southern Bank. Local people, local decisions, community banking at its best. Anderson throws up a 0 in the fourth. No runs on a hit with 1 left for Evansville. We head to the bottom of the fourth. It's 3-1 Southern Illinois on 103.5 ESPN.com. Kervin Mesquite due up to lead off in the last of the fourth. Miners lead 3-1 here over Evansville. Mesquite 0 for 1 as he swings at the first pitch and pops it up to straightaway center field. Grieshaber can't find it. Ranging out is the shortstop Wietrich. He reaches out and makes the catch with his back to home plate. It's luckily that he did, because Grieshaber did not see that ball at all in center field. And if Grieshaber wasn't going to make the catch, Wietrich was pretty much the only guy who was going to be able to make that one. Mesquite continues to struggle in this series. 1 pitch and 1 out, and back to the top of the order for Yeltsin Godinho. 0 for 1 with a walk in tonight's game, entering with a 16-game hit streak, tied for 4th longest in Miners history. Pitch by Sittinger is a 50-footer that bounces up on Calabrese, the catcher, and knocks his helmet off. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, it being close to football season here in Southern Illinois, you got to call time when somebody's helmet comes off. Even though it's not really a helmet for Calabrese, it's a traditional face guard. 1-0 fastball inside. The count now 2-0 on Godinho. With a hit, he can tie Ken Gregory for the 3rd longest streak in Miners history, which would be 17 in a row. Gregory had his 17-gamer in 2012. 2-0 in on the hands, popped up high in the air off of first, out of play onto the roof. It's now 2-1 to Godinho. I wonder if Godinho knows about the hit streak, or if he just knows that he's swinging well right now. 2-1 pitch. Fastball is just low by Sittinger, 3-1. So Godinho certainly has a hitter's count here. Longest hitting streak by any Miner this year is his 16-gamer. 3-1. Swinging a high twisting pop-up out of play, third base side. Godinho got a fastball, but it kept tailing inside on him. He's able to get a piece. Now the count is 3-2. Everybody's waiting for the ball to roll on down the roof. I don't know if that one's coming down. 3-2 pitch up and in on Godinho, and if that didn't hit him, it's certainly ball 4. I think that's a walk, and it is. Second walk of the game by Godinho. Sittinger's command here today has certainly not been at its A+ best. As for the Evansville right-hander, that is now his 5th walk in 4 innings. 2 of the walks have scored. Both actually walks by Jamie Smart have come around to score. He's now on deck. Gianfranco Wawu up at the plate. He popped out with the bases loaded to end the 2nd inning to 3rd base in foul ground in his last at-bat. First pitch swung on, fouled straight back. Up over everything, 0-1. Three to 1 Southern Illinois. 4 hits and 1 error for the Miners. The 1 error allowing the 1 run Evansville has scored to be unearned against Marty Anderson. A late swing and a miss by Wawu on the changeup, I think. And it is 0-2. He saw that pitch was off speed, but then saw it was going to probably be a strike anyway. Right-hander Sittinger kicks and fires. 0-2 fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Godinho over at first has stolen 3 out of 3 this year. This being his 22nd game with the Miners. He has been outstanding, both with the bat and with the glove. 1-2. Breaking ball, called strike 3 on the inside corner, and Sittinger gets Wawu, who's now 0 for 3 in his return to the starting lineup. There's out number 2. Jamie Smart up at the plate. He's drawn 2 walks and has come around to score both times. 1 in the first, 1 in the third. He's yet to record an official at bat. That's the third strikeout for Sittinger. Righty versus lefty matchup. Right-hander deals. Off speed, misses high, ball one. A lot of first pitch balls by Sittinger in this game. Even the outs that he has recorded, a good deal of them have been with ball one thrown on the first pitch. 1-0, there's another one up and away from Smart. It's 2-0. Sittinger probably doesn't want to face Kyle Davis here, who's on deck. 2-0 pitch. Good fastball strike at the knees, 2-1. That's because Davis is 2 for 2, halfway to the cycle with first pitch, homer, and double. Is 2 times up today. Two-1 by Sittinger. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on, lifted down the left field line. Could stay fair. Down the line it goes, about 10 feet foul. As it turns out, now it's 2-2. Putting on a hit and run there was Mike Pinto in the Miners' dugouts. Not a bad spot for it. Smart ahead in the counts. Sittinger's walked him already twice, wanting to get out of the inning. Smart, a guy that the Miners trust to put the bat on the baseball. He's not a high strikeout guy. At least hasn't been with the Miners this year. Now 2-2. And Sittinger deals. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Good one low at 92 miles an hour. And he strikes out a pair after the walk to Godinho to get out of the fourth. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Miners after 4 full innings, 3-1 Southern Illinois on 103.5 ESPN.com. Wild Things have had a rough season after they made the championship series last year, lost at Wild Things Park in the do-or-die game 5 to Joliet. Miners lost 2 out of 3 there very early in the season. Taylor Lane 0 for 1 as he swings at the first pitch and fouls it off for strike 1 here. Ground ball back to the mound for Lane in his first at-bat. The one win that the Miners have in Washington this year was a 14-inning marathon. Lasted deep into the night. The 0-1 pitch by Anderson. Swung on, ground ball, left side, diving stop by Watkins. Pops up, throw to first in time, 1 away. great play by Jared Watkins, flashing the leather at second base, denying Lane a base hit, and retiring the leadoff man for Anderson. Hang the star on that one in your scorebooks at home. And up comes Tanner Wietrich. 1 for 1 with a single in his first at bat. Also, the other way, just past Watkins in the third inning. Anderson winds, and he kicks and deals the first pitch to Wietrich. Fastball inside, ball 1. Anyway, in that 14-inning ball game, Nick Durazo, then a member of the Wild Things, now back in the Miners uniform, he struck out 7 in relief, but also took the loss in that game. Andrew Bernstein with the win. There's a swing and a slashed foul ball into the seats above the Miners' dugouts. It is strike 1. That went right into a group of fans. Everybody's all right. How about that? Good reflexes by the fans in the third row behind the Miners' dugout. 1-1 pitch is inside, and that one hits Wietrich. And so a hit by pitch for Anderson. Puts a base runner on, brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Jack Meggs. For Anderson, that is his 14th hit batter this year. We mentioned how the walks have really hurt him this season. The hit batters, the free base runner as well. So you can add that into the equation. It's the second free base runner for Evansville in the game. Meggs is 0 for 1 with a run scored. He reached on a fielder's choice that put out Wietrich in the third. He went to second on an error on the same play, then stole third and came in on a sac fly. That's how Evansville got their 1 run so far. Lefty to lefty. Pitch to Meggs. Fastball is fouled off high in the air down the left field line. Out of play, strike 1. Holding on the runner at first, Wietrich, is Jamie Smart. Double play depth for the rest of the infield, hoping for a ground ball from Meggs, who runs pretty well. It'd have to be a sharp one for a chance to turn 2. Left-hander's 0-1. Breaking ball waved on and missed. Good pitch that dropped off the table. And the count 0-2 to Meggs. Meggs back in the box, bent at the knees from the left side. Anderson straightens up. And here is his 0-2 throw to first. Back with the dive is Wietrich. Night fallen here in Marion. Wind is pretty much non-existent now, under what we know to be overcast skies. Anderson has another sign from Nieto. Left-hander looks over at the runner at first and will throw home. A breaking ball down and away, ball 1. 1-2 the count on Meggs. Anderson looking to work around a 1-out base runner for the second inning in a row. Allowed a single to Ryan Long, then struck out McNamee and Phillips to get out of trouble last inning. The 1-2 pitch to Meggs. Anderson kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on a high inside fastball. I don't know what Meggs is arguing about with Mike Fichter. That was a clear swing and miss. That fastball kind of sailed on Anderson, came up and in on Meggs. Perhaps he was complaining about the location of the pitch, but that was, I guarantee, unintentional. There wasn't anything earlier in the at-bat that was a called strike that may have been questionable that Meggs could have been angry about. Really have no idea what his beef is with Mike Fichter right now, but that is a Casasa strikeout for Anderson, brought to you by First Southern Bank. Local people, local decisions, community banking at its best. Strikeout number 4 in the game for Anderson. And now he'll face Rob Calabrese, who is 0 for 0 with an RBI, a sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning in his first at-bat. Anderson kicks and deals. First pitch fouled off the end of the bat, high in the air off of first. Out of play toward the concourse. And strike 1 to Calabrese. Wietrich still over at first after his 1-out hit by pitch. 3-1 Southern Illinois, top of the 5th inning. Anderson looks over at him and will bring home an 0-1 fastball that misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right-hander now throwing in the Evansville bullpen as well. Either that or he's just on the mound and with a baseball in his hand not warming up, which would be strange. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Got the fastball through Calabrese, and it's 1-2. 1 strike away is Anderson from ending the inning. That pitcher who was up on the mound, he's no longer up on the mound. Now he's just walking around. Looks like the veteran Tyler Vale actually is on the injured list. 36. 1-2 to Calabrese. Runner at first, 2 outs. Lefty to righty matchup. Anderson is set and now steps off. Great crowd on hand here for Stand Up for Blue Night on this Thursday at Rent One Park. Miners honoring the local law enforcement who keep the communities here in Southern Illinois safe today. 4th annual Stand Up for Blue Night, always a popular night here in Marion. Anderson deals a 1-2. Check swing on the breaking ball inside. Did he go? No, according to James Purnell. James Purnell standing behind the mound. The crowd obviously thinks he went, and they boo, but that was close enough that the field umpire would have no way of really seeing whether Calabrese went around. That's the perils of a 2-umpire crew here in the Frontier League. With men on base, the bases umpires behind the mound, therefore can't see down the line for sure whether or not a batter swings or not, unless it's blatantly obvious to everybody. 2-2 pitch, runner goes. Pitches inside with a breaking ball. Fired down to second by Nieto, is not in time. And did they get him? Off the bag? Yes, they did. Tanner Wietrich came off the bag after standing up after the slide, and he is out to end the inning, and Andy McCauley will argue with James Purnell on this. He's not going to win the argument. The Miners already come off the field. And Southern Illinois gets out of the frame. No runs, no hits, and nobody left for the Otters. We are through 4.5. It's still 3-1 Southern Illinois on 103.5 ESPN.com. Here is another 3-2 pitch by Sittinger. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. And Nieto on the 10th pitch of his at-bat singles for his second hit of the game and extends the 5th inning. That could be very big. That could be the difference between Sittinger pitching 6 innings and not making it through 6. With that 10-pitch at-bat, you combine it with the 7 pitches he had thrown to Davison Sparks. That makes 17, which gives him 92 for the game. Approaching that 100-pitch mark, which is pretty much the signal that the night for the pitcher is ending soon. Pitch to Joe Duncan off speed, that catches the inside corner. Duncan stands in 1 for 2, an RBI single in his last at-bat with 2 outs in the 3rd. A big hit for the Miners. They got 2nd and 3rd nobody outs, and then the next 2 batters made outs without advancing the runners. Duncan came up clutch. Fastball ripped on and missed, 92 miles an hour, and elevated out over the plate. Duncan quickly behind 0-2. Nieto off of first, held on by Meggs. There are 2 outs here in the 5th. Sittinger sets and deals. 0-2 fouled back. 93 mile an hour fastball there. Still no balls, 2 strikes. Another righty versus righty matchup. Miners have been very right-handed all year, especially with Obregon out now. 0-2, high fly ball, right field, but foul, well out of play. Another 93 mile an hour fastball as Sittinger is going right after Joe Duncan. If you're Duncan, I would think that got to be ready for the fastball, but also might want to start looking for breaking balls. I believe that is now 3 straight fastballs after the first pitch breaker. 0-2 is an off-speed pitch, and Duncan gets a piece to stay alive. Nieto with 2 outs, obviously off on contact from first base. First 2 men were struck out in this inning swinging on 7 total pitches. This will be the 6th pitch of Duncan's at-bat. 0-2 again. Fastball high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's now 16 pitches thrown in the last 2 batters. Nieto with the fantastic at-bats, a 10-pitch single, putting him at first. A 1-2 by Sittinger. Breaking ball grounded to third. It is gloved by Long. He sets and throws across the diamond. It's in time. And so the Miners make Sittinger work, but they do not score in the 5th. No runs on a hit with 1 left for the Miners. They've left 7 on base through 5 innings, but they continue to lead 3-1. Back after this on 103.5 ESPN.com. righty, lefty, righty for Evansville here in this inning. Later in the frame, we'll give you another check of the out-of-town scoreboard, tell you what else is happening around the playoff picture. Just 9 games remaining in the Frontier League after tonight. 9 game days anyway. 0-1. Anderson misses with his fastball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Miners head to Washington, and they come home and will play Lake Erie and then Evansville again to end the regular season. A lot needs to go right for them to jump up into a playoff spot. They're 3.5 back of the second wild card entering play tonight. 1-1 is drilled to left field. This is going to be gone, and it's a solo home run for Calabrese to make it a 1-run game. Now 3-2. As Anderson surrenders a homer for the second straight start. 5th of the season allowed in over 80 innings. And the Miners, who have stranded 7 batters in their first 5 tries tonight, including 3 in scoring position. Now they'll try to hold the Otters at 1. David Cronin is 0 for 1 with a flyout and a walk. He shows bunt and takes a breaking ball down and away for ball 1. That's the first earned run that Anderson has allowed in the game. First extra base hit as well. 1-0 pitch to Cronin. Fastball inside out and foul down the left field line onto the lawn, 1-1. For Anderson, 4 of the 5 home runs he surrendered are to right-handed batters. Right-handers have hit him for the extra base hit. Lefties have hit him for a slightly better average. The 1-1 pitch to Cronin. A bunt shown again. Fastball up and in, 2-1. Nobody out here in the 6th on the leadoff bomb by Calabrese. Now 3-2 Southern Illinois. Two-one pitch. Off speed and low, 3-1. Incidentally, that is the first run allowed in the 6th inning this year by Marty Anderson. 3-1 pitch, a ground ball up the middle and through into center field. That's a base hit for Cronin, and now the tying runs on base with nobody out for Evansville. Brings up Heath Grieshaber. Cronin has good speed as well. The Miners are in a bit of a pickle. Bullpen starts to stir a little bit for Southern Illinois. Grieshaber's 0 for 2. First pitch here. Grieshaber shows bunt, pulls back on a fastball in for ball 1. One of Grieshaber's outs was a double play ground ball, erasing a leadoff walk by Cronin in the first, 4-6-3. Nieto goes out to have a talk with Anderson. This is a big situation for the Miners, because on deck is Ryan Long, and he is the wrong guy. The Miners want to see up in a run-scoring situation. The 1-0 pitch is not going to be made. A step off by Anderson. Smart holding Cronin close. 18 out of 25 stolen bases this year. Left-handers 1-0. Bunted up the first base line and foul by Grieshaber for strike 1. Top of the 6th inning, 1 run in. It's a 1-run ball game, and the tying runs at first with nobody out. Grieshaber shows bunt again right away. Here's a 1-1. He pulls back and swings and fouls it off back behind the plates. 1-2. Grieshaber trying to be tricky there. He's now behind in the counts. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lefty to righty matchup. Anderson comes set. The 1-2. Breaking ball is fouled off into the seats first base side. Still 1-2. Anderson has the sign from Nieto. Left-hander holds the set, and now time is called by Grieshaber. Grieshaber and Mike Fichter exchange a few words. Again, not too sure what they're talking about. Anderson now has the sign again. Here's a 1-2. Drive in the air to left field and deep, backing up Mesquite. Stale back, he looks up, this ball's off the bottom of the wall, it kicks away a little bit. Going to third base is Cronin, he stops there. It's a double for Grieshaber, and now the Miners are in big trouble. Big, big, big trouble. Still nobody out. Ryan Long at the plates, second and third for Evansville. All of a sudden, in the span of a few minutes, this ball game has been turned on its head, and the Miners have to bring their infield in with Ryan Long at the plate. Long singled in his last at bat. He's 1 for 2 tonight. First pitch by Anderson. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 1. Now a right-hander throwing in the Southern Illinois bullpen. There's a breaking ball down and away from Anderson, 1-1. Home run, single, double with 2 strikes. Second and third, nobody out. The tying runs at third with no one out. It'll be a 1-1 to Long. Anderson fires. Swung on, popped up, out of play, backing out of behind the plates. It's 1-2. That right-hander tossing quickly is Heath Rends. Anderson gets a sign. Here's a 1-2. Breaking ball just low. 2-2. Anderson trying to get Long in a big, big spot. Two and two pitch. Left-hander kicks and deals. Outside and low again, 3-2. There is a base open, but a right-hand hitter on deck who's swung it well in this series. Payoff pitch coming to long. Anderson is set. And here's the 3-2. Just low and outside. Ball 4. Bases loaded. Still nobody out. Elijah McNamee up at the plates. Miners clinging for dear life to a 3-2 lead here in the 6th inning. Tyler Martin comes out to talk to Anderson. Anderson entered this inning having allowed just 1 unearned run on 2 hits, both singles. Homer, single, double, walk. And if the Miners plan on avoiding a sweep, this is an inning where they must execute. Last game of this series, Evansville has only swept the Miners twice, ever, in Marion, and not for the last 8 years. It is a right-handed batter up in Elijah McNamee, who was 0 for 2 tonight with a ground ball to third and a strikeout. Both outcomes Anderson would like again. First pitch to McNamee. Fastball up and away, ball 1. Well, if you're Anderson, you must throw strikes as well. Tying runs at third, nobody out, bases are loaded. The 1-0. High fly ball left field. This is deep, but it's going to stay in the yard. Mesquite settles under it. He makes the catch. Runners tag at second and third. Throw goes into third base. It is not cut off, and everybody, in fact, advances. A sacrifice fly, and this game is tied at 3. Batter up is a left-handed hitter in Dakota Phillips. Miners had a lead throughout this game until just now. Miners bring their infield in with 1 out. Phillips 0 for 2. First pitch, breaking ball, in for a strike, 0-1. Miners still in big trouble. Grieshaber at third, Long at second. 0-1 pitch. Another breaking ball is fouled off the hands, back and out of play, into the screen. Now 0-2. This would be a critical out for Anderson to get. He's way ahead of Dakota Phillips. Left-handers 0-2. Down and away with a breaking ball, 1-2. With 2 righties due up after Phillips, this might be Anderson's last batter regardless. Tied at 3 here in the 6th inning. Here's the 1-2. Off speed and down and away again, ball 2. Infield in for the Miners. Anderson gets a sign from Nieto. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Fastball upstairs, ball 3. From 0-2 to 3-2. Anderson gets set again. Here comes a payoff to Phillips. Off speed, swung on and missed, struck him out. A big Casasa strikeout for out number 2, brought to you by First Southern Bank, local people, local decisions, community banking at its best, and that is indeed Anderson's last batter. Well, it kind of falls around his ears in the 6th. Now the Miners have a chance to keep it tied. Anderson exits with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. We'll take a break for the pitching change here on 103.5 ESPN.com.
This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Julie, the Illinois one-call system. Play safe this season. Always call Julie before you game. Simply dial 811. And in the pitch for the Miners, number 38, Heath Rends.
New pitcher for the Miners is Heath Rends. He comes in with 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. For Marty Anderson, he strikes out 5 and allows 5 hits, and at the moment, 3 runs, 2 earned. 1 out shy of a quality start, but that's if no other runs score. Rends comes in. The record of 1-1 in 35 games, 1 save, a 4.15 ERA. 47 2/3 innings, 48 hits, 24 runs, 22 earned. He's walked 29 and struck out 52. He's allowed a 257 or 67 rather average against. Heath Rends on Tuesday night came in with the bases loaded, struck out J.J. Gould to keep the Miners in front by 1. But then he walked the first 3 batters of the 9th inning and was charged with all of the runs that ended up scoring that inning. He took the loss. He comes in to face Taylor Lane here, who has grounded out twice, once to a diving Watkins at 2nd, once back to the mound. Rends did not face Lane on Tuesday. So righty versus righty matchup as the Miners look to keep this thing tied at 3 in the 6th. Rends straightens up and deals. First pitch, powered in the air to center field and deep. Backing up on it, Duncan still back, reaches out and makes the running catch! What a catch by Duncan! Outstanding! 2 runs for the Otters, but Duncan keeps it tied. 3 hits, 2 left. Through 5.5, now a brand new game tied at 3 on 103.5 ESPN.com. First pitch of the bottom of the 6th inning is down and away from Jared Watkins, 1-0. Brandon Sittinger just threw his 100th pitch by our counts. Otters starter back out there with the game now tied at 3. Here's the 1-0. Watkins takes a strike that time, 1-1. Watkins is 0 for 1 with a fly out to left and a walk. Mesquite and Godinho to follow. Evansville scoring 2 in the top of this inning to not the score as that pitch is low and in for ball 2. Marty Anderson charged with both runs. 5 2/3, 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, and a hit batter with 5 strikeouts. He cannot win it, and he also cannot lose it, thanks to an outstanding running catch in deep center field by Joe Duncan to end the frame. Strand 2 runners in scoring position. Watkins fouls away the 2-1. It's now 2-2. Sittinger's break even. Fastball low and in, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Left-hander Cam Opp is throwing in the Evansville bullpen. Payoff pitch to Watkins. Fastball driven into right center field. On the move is Grieshaber. He makes a running catch. Just too much air under that from Watkins. He was now 0 for 2 in this game. Here's Curvin Mesquite, who's also 0 for 2. Both Watkins and Mesquite, batting 8th and 9th, have long hitless streaks. Watkins' streak is now 0 for his last 20. Mesquite's is 0 for his last 14. Switch hitter batting left-handed. First pitch home by Sittinger. Fastball up and away, ball 1. Nick Durazo is throwing in the Southern Illinois bullpen. 1-0, misses up and away again, 2-0. Mesquite trying to get on base, because once he gets on, he's got great speed. 2-0. Taken low and inside, now the count 3 balls and no strikes. Mesquite likely taking all the way here. Here's the 3-0. It is down the middle for a called strike 1. 3-3 game, both teams with 5 hits. Here's the 3-1 pitch by Sittinger. That's in there for a strike. It's 3-2. Mesquite back in the box. And the 3-2. Fastball upstairs, he walked him. And Mesquite is on board, representing the lead run. A base on balls, the 6th of the game by Sittinger. And now up comes Yeltsin Godinho, who has walked twice and grounded out to shortstop. Godinho with a 16-game hit streak, as we've mentioned throughout this game, coming in. He's been on base, so he's been on base 17 straight games now. Looking for that hit. Mesquite off of first. First pitch is a tailing fastball for a strike on the inside corner. Mesquite has stolen 2 out of 2 this year with the minors. Last year, though, he led the South Atlantic League with 49 stolen bases. There's a toss to first, diving back Mesquite. The 49 steals tied for 6th in all of affiliated baseball, including the major leagues, for Mesquite last season. He can fly. The 0-1. Breaking ball, fouled off, high in the air off of first and out of play. Strike 2 to Godinho. Miners looking to make some noise here in the 6th inning. 1 on and 1 out. Sittinger set from the stretch. Here's his 0-2. Fastball swung on, fouled off. High in the air, back behind the plate. Onto the roof. Still 0-2. Another 0-2 pitch. Fastball just a bit up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Calabrese gives him another sign. Here is the 1-2. No, not made. Toss to first. Mesquite dives back in. One-two pitch. Breaking ball, popped up foul and out of play. Once again, staying alive, Godinho. He's looking for a pitch he can handle. Meggs holding on Mesquite. Miners' fastest runner over at first. 3-3 ball game in the 6th. Another 1-2 to Godinho. Swung on, chopped foul up the third base side and nearly into the first row. The fan sitting there deflects it back onto the field. It's 3 foul balls in this at bats, with 2 strikes on Godinho. The 1-2 again. Inside with a breaking ball. Count is now 2-2. Standing in is Godinho to see an 8th pitch from Brandon Sittinger. Mesquite off of first, 1 out. 2-2 pitch. Broken back, ground ball to third. This could be 2. Long fires to second base, 1. Turn to first is in time. A very killer double play. Evansville gets the shutdown inning in the bottom of the 6th. And we head to the 7th inning, tied at 3 apiece on 103.5 ESPN.com. North Carolina to face the bottom third of the order, Wietrich, Meggs, and Calabrese, 2 of which are right-handed. And for Durazo, he has struggled since rejoining the team. 10 appearances, 2-1 with a 6.94 ERA. 15 hits allowed, including 4 home runs in 11 2/3 innings. 11 runs, 9 earned. He has walked 8 and struck out 11. 2 of the walks are intentional. And even 300 batting average against for Durazo since being reacquired by the team for Stephen Lohr in July. He was outstanding last season for the Miners, and he's looking to be outstanding here as the Miners look to avoid a sweep with a bus ride up to Washington after this game. Looking around the league, River City leads in the 8th, 3-1 over Joliet. Florence and Washington are tied in the 11th inning. Also tied in the 11th, Lake Erie and Windy City. Wietrich is 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch. He shows bunt and bunts it foul back into the net. Strike one. A single back in the 3rd, a hit by pitch in the 5th. He was put out at 2nd both times he reached. Once on a caught stealing, once on a fielder's choice. There's nobody up in Evansville's bullpen right now, despite Sittinger, their starter, at 119 pitches. 0-1, fastball up and away, 1-1. Big trio of batters here for Durazo. 1-1 fastball is upstairs, 2-1. Because if anybody gets on, the top of the Evansville order will come up. And that is the dangerous part. 2-1 also misses just high. 3 balls, 1 strike. A hitter's count for the leadoff man, Wietrich. 3-1 is up and away. It is a leadoff walk.
Now batting for 3, Jack Banks.
No bueno. I almost guarantee Meggs will try to bunt here. He's 0 for 2 with a run scored. He shows it right away. Here's the pitch. Taken for a strike at the knee level. It's 0-1. Sparks is in at third base, anticipating the bunt. Meggs can fly, and he's also a left-handed batter. He shows it right away again. The 0-1 is bunted up in the air. It is going to drop. Durazo fields, tosses to first. It's his only play, and the sacrifice is good. Unfortunately, Durazo couldn't get over to make the catch in the air. And now the Otters have the lead run in scoring position for Rob Calabrese. Calabrese today, 1 for 1 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Batting 9th. Sacrifice fly in the 3rd, a leadoff solo home run to kick off the 2-run 6th in his last at-bat off of Marty Anderson, signaling eventually the beginning of his end. Ian Codina now throwing in the Miners' pen. Miners have got to step up here. First pitch is swung on and missed, strike one. Fastball there by Durazo at 88. Three in the top of the 7th. Durazo set at the belt. Here's his 0-1. Swinging a high fly ball left center field. Backing up Mesquite toward the gap. He's got room out there, and he makes the catch. Tagging at second, heading to third is the runner in Wietrich. There's a valuable second out. Durazo using the big ballpark here to get that out. And now it's lefty to lefty, Durazo against David Cronin. Runner at third and 2 outs in a tie game. Cronin has been on base twice. He has flown out to left, singled and scored, and walked. Durazo trying to get a critical out. First pitch is slashed foul down the left field side and out of play. No balls, one strike. Left-hander gets a sign from Nieto. 0-1. Ground ball weakly hit to second. Gloved by Watkins. He throws out Cronin, and there's the end of the inning. And Durazo works around the leadoff walk. Stretch time here in Marion. Great job by Durazo there. We're still tied at 3 on 103.5 ESPN.com.
We have a special presentation here for you here on our special night with law enforcement.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we stretch, we ask that everyone please rise for God Bless America performance.
God bless America here, so extend this by a minute if you can. New pitcher on the mound for the Evansville Otters is left-hander Cam Opp. He replaces Brandon Sittinger, the starter. Pitches a quality start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs allowed on 5 hits, walking 6, but also striking out 6. Miners have left 7 on in the first 6 innings. And they'll look to get the Evansville bullpen tonight. Opp is 16 appearances into his Otters career, 3-1 record with 2 saves and a 2.89 ERA. 16 hits allowed in 18 2/3 innings, 6 earned runs on 6 walks. He has walked 20. He struck out 25 with a 235 average against. He's given up just 2 extra base hits. Miners have seen him before this year. And in fact, Opp did not get anybody out in his first appearance against Southern Illinois. That was back at Bosse Field earlier this month. He gave up 2 hits and 2 earned runs. Gianfranco Wawu, Jamie Smart, and Kyle Davis are the 3 due up against Opp here. And let's go back in time to that appearance by Opp. He faced Smart and Davis and gave up a single and double to them. So he'll face them again as the second and third batters of this inning. Will Hayden now getting loose in Southern Illinois' pen as well. Nick Durazo working around a leadoff walk for a scoreless top of the 7th. We're now in the bottom half, still tied at 3. Wahoo in this game 0 for 3 with a strikeout looking in his last at-bats. First pitch by the lefty is an over-the-top fastball in for a strike. Opp is a rookie from Enterprise, Alabama. Played his college ball at Army. 5'10", 185 pounds. 0-1 pitch. Down low that time. It is 1-1. Wahoo getting his at-bat against a lefty here. He's hit lefties at a 295 clip. He's been very consistent everywhere. Here's a 1-1. Down and away, off speed that time. It is 2-1. Wahoo has hit for a 294 average in total this year. 290 plus both at home and on the road, and 290 plus against righties and lefties. That's what you call consistency. 2-1. Fastball misses low. 3-1 to Wahoo. Great crowd on hand for Stand Up for Blue Knight. Miners now looking to try to rally late. They had a 3-1 lead entering the 6th inning. Evansville scored 2 to tie it. 3-1. Wahoo lines it over shortstop, a base hit into left field, and the leadoff man aboard here for Southern Illinois in the 7th. That brings up Jamie Smart.
Now batting, number 30, Jamie Smart.
Smart in this game has walked twice and scored a pair of runs. He's also struck out swinging once. Contrary to what you might think, this is a lefty-to-lefty matchup, but Smart this year, his batting average against lefties is .392. Pitch by Opp is upstairs for ball 1. Not only that, but we told you Smart faced Opp in Evansville this year and singled against him. 1-0 pitch is in at the knee level for a called strike. Smart has had much more at-bats against righties, of course. That's just natural. He's been really good against southpaws as a minor. Here's the 1-1. Fastball in there for a strike. Count is 1-2. That was taken by Smart. Wahoo, the potential lead run at first in a 3-3 game in the 7th. 1-2 to Smart. That breaking ball sails up and in. Count is now 2-2. Kyle Davis, a guy who's murdered lefties all year long, he's on deck. Opp has a sign, and here is his 2-2 pitch. Fastball served into the screen, spoiled foul by Smart. He stays alive at 2-2. Smart trying to move Wahoo into scoring position. He climbs back in. Here's another 2-2 pitch by Opp. Fastball fouled back into the nets. We'll do it again at 2-2. Smart has been on base a bunch in this series. He does have 1 base hit, an infield hit, last night. Here's another 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, swung on, popped up, shallow left. This might stay on the infield, in fact. Wheatridge ranges out, makes the catch. Wahoo cannot move there, and an unproductive out.
Number 10,
Bringing up Kyle Davis.
Kyle Davis.
Davis has hit lefties this season at a .330 clip. He is 2 for 3 with a 2-run homer, a absolute rocket double, and a strikeout. Bob Calabrese goes out to talk with Opp. I bet Evansville wants to be careful with Davis and go right after Sparks, who's 0 for 3 behind him on deck. That's what I would bet. First option, though, would be a ground ball somewhere. Davis will look to elevate here. Lefty versus righty. Opp deals. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike one. That ball was up and in. Davis has been on base 20 straight games. He has hits in 19 of the 20, including tonight. 0-1 off speed. That misses just a bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wawu at first base, 1 out. Tied at 3. There's a breaking ball, grounded foul off the end of the bat, rolling back to the backstop, 1-2. Davis behind in the count. Here comes a 1-2 pitch by Opp. Down and away, off speed. Good lead by Davis there, 2-2. Break-even pitch to Davis. Fastball upstairs. Count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's gone change-up, fastball the last 2 pitches. Here comes the payoff to Davis. Breaking ball up and in. It's ball 4. A walk drawn by Davis. And that puts the lead run in scoring position and brings up Taylor Sparks.
Now batting, number 7, Taylor Sparks.
Well, Sparks this year has hit lefties quite well as well. In this series, he has struggled mightily with making contact. An RBI double in his first at-bat of the series. And since then, strikeouts, 9 of them, and a fly out to the warning track and left. This year, Sparks has hit 10 for 26 against left-handed pitching, .385 as a minor. 0 for 3 tonight. Here's the pitch. Fastball grounded foul, strike 1. He's also hit .348 in 23 at-bats with men in scoring position, although he struggled after the double in this series. Wawu at second, Davis at first, 1 out. 3-3 game, bottom of the 7th. Ground ball left side, diving stop by the shortstop Wietrich, pops up, throws to second, 1, turn to first, not in time. A fielder's choice advances the lead run to third. And it's out number 2. Brings up Arturo Nieto. Miners getting their leadoff man on. Unable to move him was Smart. Davis moved him on the walk. Sparks moving him further, although not getting on base safely himself. Put out his 6-4 on that play. Nieto in this game is 2 for 3, a pair of singles. Fought through a 10-pitch war with Sittinger, the starter, for a single in his last at-bat as he takes a fastball right down the pike for a strike. Miners came up clutch to get their 3rd run on an RBI by Joe Duncan in the 3rd. Can Nieto do the same? Ops 0-1. Drive to center field, fairly deep. Backing up Grieshaber, has room. And on the warning track, he makes the catch to retire the side. Miners get their leadoff man on and get him all the way to third base, but cannot score him. Both the Miners and the Otters scoreless in the 7th after getting a runner to third. And it's still tied at 3 heading to the 8th on 103.5 ESPN.com. Third man out of the Miners bullpen. First pitch, ground ball foul by Grieshaber, strike one. When the Miners have been tied after 7 this year, they are 6-4, 2-1 here at Rent One Park. 0-1 pitch is off speed and low, ball 1. Eight in sets. The tall left-hander's 1-1. Fastball there is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Retiring the leadoff man is exceptionally key for the Miners down the stretch. They've only done it twice in this game. Two-one pitch. Grieshaber swings and cues one high in the air off the end of the bat. It's going to get out of play. And now the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miners trying to avoid a sweep tonight, trying to get back in the win column before a bus ride to Washington in a 3-game weekend series at Wild Things Park. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and getting a piece was Grieshaber on the inside fastball. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hayden throws harder than your average lefty in the Frontier League at 91 miles an hour basically with his fastball. We've seen him run it up to 93 at times, but just touching it. Missed all of last year due to Tommy John surgery recovery. Played 5 years in the Padres organization. Another 2-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded foul once again by Grieshaber. He stays alive. Hayden, a 13th round pick out of Illinois State. Originally from Morton, Illinois. He's an Illinois guy through and through. Hayden tosses the baseball he was holding, wants a new one, and Mike Victor gives him that baseball. Lefty to righty, here's another 2-2 pitch by Hayden. Swung on, a little cue shot off the end of the bat, rolls toward first base. Smart picks it up as Hayden fell down on the mound, and there's no play on Grieshaber. He reaches. Well, that isn't how most of this series has gone for Evansville. They have just found every single way to find some little space to get runners on. Grieshaber can really run, and the batter now is Ryan Long. Long is 1 for 2 with a strikeout in the first, a single in the fourth, and a walk, drawn on a full count in the sixth against Marty Anderson. Grieshaber this year is 21 for 30 in stolen bases. Hayden fires a first pitch. Fastball, low, 1 ball, no strikes. Hayden steps off momentarily, now back on the rubber. One 0 pitch. Another fastball, another one just low, 2-0 to Long. Hayden sets at the belt. 2-0 pitch. Fastball swung on, high fly ball, left center field. This will stay in the yard. Moving to his right, Duncan. Still to his right, he makes the catch. Grieshaber is going to have to retreat back to first. There's a big, big first out for Will Hayden on Ryan Long. Brings up another right-hand hitter in Elijah McNamee. 0 for 2 with a sac fly and an RBI. He tied the game on his sacrifice fly in the sixth. The combination of Anderson and Rends was able to keep it tied that inning. Durazo kept it tied in the seventh. Hayden's trying to do the same. First pitch is not going to be made. Step off and a fire to first by Hayden. Dive back in by Grieshaber as Hayden bluffed toward first. First pitch to McNamee. Fastball, good strike on the low inside corner. 0-1. Hayden readies. The 0-1 pitch. Popped up off of first, could stay playable. Smart in foul ground, reaches up, makes the catch, 2 away. Hayden jamming McNamee inside for the second out. And up comes another lefty in Dakota Phillips. Nobody up in Evansville's bullpen. They are looking like they're going to stick with the lefty in Cam Opp. Regardless of who they go with, it'll be Duncan, Watkins, Mesquite, the bottom of the order due up in the bottom of the eighth. Phillips today is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, swinging in his last 2 at-bats. A lefty-to-lefty matchup, Grieshaber at first. And there's a toss to first. They've got Grieshaber running towards second. The throw is low down there. But was a balk just called on Hayden? They just called a balk on Will Hayden. And I honestly don't believe it. No pitch there. Obviously, there was no pitch delivered to the plate. Now runner in scoring position for Phillips. Tied at 3 in the top of the 8th inning, 2 outs. Hayden gets a sign, and here's the first pitch to Phillips. Breaking ball down and away, ball 1. This is the guy Hayden wants to get. The 1-0 pitch is another breaking ball, bending low, 2-0. Phillips ahead in the count as now time is called. Hayden steps off, now back on. On the third base side of the rubber, he deals. 2-0 pitch. Off speed, down and away. 3 balls and no strikes. It'll be a 3-0 to Phillips, who may or may not be taking all the way. Pitch by Hayden. Fastball, he was swinging 3-0, and he misses the fastball for strike 1. Still a hitter's count there. Grieshaber now at second base, 2 outs. 3-1 pitch. Off speed, a check swing. Did he go? Apparently not. It's ball 4, and Phillips walks to set up a matchup with Taylor Lane. Lane has been robbed of hits by outstanding defensive plays in his last 2 at-bats. He's 0 for 3. Tyler Martin comes out to talk strategy with Will Hayden. In his last at-bats, with men at second and third and 2 outs, he was robbed of an extra base hit by an outstanding running catch in straightaway center by Joe Duncan. In his previous at-bat, he was robbed by a diving second baseman, Jared Watkins, going the other way. His one regular at-bat with regular defense was a ground ball back to the mound on the first pitch he saw in the second. He has put the first pitch in play twice, and the one time he didn't put the first pitch in play, he put the second one in play. Runners at first and second for Evansville, 2 outs, top of the 8th, tied at 3 here at Rent One Park. Lefty versus righty. Hayden kicks and fires. Fastball low and in, ball 1. Hayden working in his second consecutive game. A leadoff infield hit by Grieshaber, then a fly out to center by Long, a pop out by McNamee, a balk and a walk. 1-0. Lane grounds it to shortstop, backhanded on the move by Godinho. Throw down to first on 1 bounce is in plenty of time, and the side is retired. Hayden gets the job done. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left for Evansville. We played 7.5. Miners 3, Evansville 3 on 103.5 ESPN.com. Bottom of the 8th inning here in Marion. Miners and Evansville tied at 3. Joe Duncan, Jared Watkins, and Curvin Mesquite due up. Cam Opp back out there for his second inning of work. He threw 22 pitches in his first inning, walked one, gave up a single as well. Stranded the go-ahead run at third. Duncan in this game 1 for 3 with an RBI single. First pitch there, breaking ball inside, ball 1. It's a final. Washington has beaten Florence 3-2 in 11 innings. River City, unfortunately, also wins 3-2 in 9 at CarShield Field. 1-0 pitch is again just low. Count is 2-0. Also 3-2 in 12 innings. Lake Erie beats Windy City and sweeps the series. I'm almost positive they're playing baseball in Sauget, but the scoreboard says rain delay still. 2-0 breaking ball is below the knees. The count is 3-0 to Joe Duncan. Let's search. I think they might have been having internet problems in Sauget. Last update from the Gateway Grizzlies official accounts was 2-0 Schaumburg early. 3-0 pitch is taken low for ball 4. That is a 4-pitch leadoff walk drawn by Joe Duncan. And the Miners have the leadoff man on for free. And here is a part of the order that is pretty ideal to try and move Duncan with a bunt. Jared Watkins is 0 for his last 20. He has walked tonight. Also flown out to left and lined out to center. And this is an ideal situation for the Miners to use the sacrifice. Curvin Mesquite is behind Watkins. Watkins gives himself up right away. Here's the pitch. Pulled back on a high fastball for ball 1. Ryan Long coming in hard from third base. 3-3 game, bottom of the 8th. Watkins shows bunt again. Opp deals the 1-0. Bunted first base side. Fielding is Opp. He's going to tag Watkins himself. And there is out number 1. It's a sacrifice 1 unassisted. And now up comes Curvin Mesquite, who walked his last time up on a full count. He is 0 for his last 14, but he was also a switch hitter who will turn around and bat from the right side. Miners have a couple cracks, so to speak, with Duncan's speed at second to bring in a run and take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Right, lefty to switch batting right. First pitch by Cam Opp is a fastball that misses for ball 1. Action in both pens. A lefty for the Otters, a righty for the Miners. Runner at second, 1 out. Here's the pitch by Opp. Fastball high and tight, ball 2. Righty for the Miners, got to be Gabe Gentner, and yes, it is. The lefty for Evansville is Abraham Almonte. The 2-0 to Mesquite. Taken on the inside corner for a strike, 2-1. Duncan, the lead off a second. 2-1 pitch by Opp. Swung on and missed. Pitch was below the knees. 2-2. Mesquite is hitless in this series. As we mentioned, 0 for his last 14. On deck behind him is Yeltsin Godinho. It'll be a break-even pitch by Opp. Here it comes. Grounded up the third base line and foul. Mesquite stays alive. Anything slow, hit on the ground, anywhere, gives Mesquite an opportunity to reach with his outstanding speed. They play him to pull slightly. There's a wide open hole on the right side if Mesquite can go the other way. Time is called by the Miners left fielder out of Curacao at the plates. Tied at 3, bottom of the 8th, here at Rent One Park. Two-two pitch. Swung on, popped up. Right side of the infield, and making the catch is Cronin, 2 outs.
Now batting, the hitman.
And it's up to Gudino. For Yeltsin Gudino, this is his second plate appearance with a man in scoring position. A 16-game hit streak coming in. He is 0 for 2 with 2 walks. 11 for 22 this year with men in scoring position. Came up with a big 2-out RBI single last night. Duncan at second base. 3-3. Pitch by Opp. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, 0-1. Both teams have gotten their leadoff man on in every half of the 7th and the 8th. Neither has broken through. Yet. The 0-1. Check swing and a hold on the breaking ball down and in. 1-1 to Gudino. Gudino facing a lefty for the first time. He's hit lefties 8 for 21 as a minor. 381 the batting average there. Ops 1-1. Flied foul down the right field side. It's 1-2. Duncan led off this inning by reaching on a 4-pitch walk. He was sacrificed cleanly to second by Watkins. But Mesquite couldn't score him. And couldn't move him to third either. And Gudino now behind 1-2. Miners at this point in the season on the fringe of the playoff picture. They're looking for somebody, anybody, to step up big. It was Duncan stepping up big, scoring a run in the third after the Miners had second and third, nobody out. And that was with a 2-out RBI single. 1-2 to Gudino. Swung on and missed strike 3. A fastball inside. And the Miners strand a leadoff walk in scoring position. They have left 10 men on base tonight. We head to the 9th inning, still tied at 3 on 103.5 ESPN.com. On to pitch. Will Hayden goes an inning and he gives up an infield hit and a walk, but nothing else. Gentner with a 2.21 ERA, 2-3 record in 39 appearances. This is number 40. 11 saves, though this is not a save situation, and there won't be a save situation anymore for the Miners. 40 and 2/3 innings, 31 hits, 14 runs, 10 earned. He's walked 13 and struck out 48. A 211 batting average against. Gentner faced 3 batters, Phillips, Lane, and Rizzatello last night. Got all 3 of them, 2 strikeouts as well. That appearance, though, was with the Miners trailing. It'll be Wietrich, Meggs, and Calabrese here in the top of the 9th. Miners this year in games tied after 8 are 3-6, though they are 2-2 here in Marion. They are only 1-4 away.
Leading off the 9th inning for the Otters, number 29, Tanner.
Wietrich has not been retired tonight by the Miners. He has singled, been hit by a pitch, and walked. The walk was leading off in the 7th against Nick Durazo. But Durazo was able to work around that leadoff base runner. Ditto for Will Hayden in the 8th. Cam Opp for the Otters has worked around leadoff base runners in both the 7th and 8th as well. Righty to righty, first pitch by Gentner. Fastball fired low, ball 1. One-oh pitch. Fastball again. This one flied off to the right and into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jason Garrett with you here on 103.5 ESPN.com. Miners trying to keep it tied. Send it to the bottom half with a chance to walk off. 1-1. Breaking ball is just a bit high. Ball 2. Gentner is set. Here's the 2-1. Fastball lined into left field, a leadoff single. Yet again, the leadoff man reaches for the Otters. That is 7 out of 9 innings tonight. And still, Wietrich has not been retired tonight. Jack Meggs sacrificed Wietrich to second in his last plate appearance. He's 0 for 2 with a run scored. That is the 7th hit for Evansville, as now they have a right-hander throwing in the pen. We'll see what Meggs does here. He shows bunt right away. Creeping in is Sparks from third. Here's the pitch, off speed, misses outside, 1-0. Meggs pulling back the bunt there. Meggs shows it again. 1-0 pitch. Bunted up the first base line and rolls foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Righty to lefty matchup. Tied at 3 in the 9th. Meggs shows bunt. Here's the pitch. Bunted first base side. Fielding off the line is Smart. He looks to second but has to throw to first to a covering Watkins. And the sacrifice is good to move Wietrich into scoring position. Brings up Rob Calabrese. 1 for 2 with a home run, a sac fly, a fly out to left which moved the runner in his last at bat. Putout goes 3-4 on the sacrifice. Nieto goes out to have a short chat with Gentner. Miners right-hander trying to keep it tied here in the 9th inning. A righty versus righty matchup against Calabrese. Gentner sets and deals. Runner goes for third. Pitches a breaking ball in for a strike. Throw down the line, gets away. Oh my goodness. Oh and 2 on Calabrese. Pitch by Gentner, low and in, ball 1. Four 3 Evansville on an error. 1-2 fouled back. Still 1 and 2. That just makes you sick. Arturo Nieto, one of the better defensive catchers you'll see, with a rare error. One, two fouled away again. Half of the Evansville runs tonight are unearned. 2-1 misses high. It's 2 and 2. That looks like Taylor Wright up and throwing in the Evansville pen, as there's a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Casasa. That's another Casasa strikeout sponsored by First Southern Bank.
Casasa strikeout brought to you by First Southern Bank. Local people, local decisions, community banking at its best.
To David Cronin.
And up comes David Cronin. Miners are 3 outs away from being swept by Evansville for the first time at home in 8 years. Cronin in this game is 1 for 3 with a run scored. Due up in the last of the 9th. Wawoo, Smart, and Davis. First pitch fastball in for a strike. Oh, 1. Bunted foul, 0 and 2. Well, folks, if the Miners lose this game, that might seal their fate. Inning got started with a leadoff single. A sacrifice moved the base runner. On the first pitch to Rob Calabrese, Wietrich stole third, and he comes home on an error by Nieto. 0-2 pitch, strike 3 at the knees. Casasa strikeout ends the inning.
That's another Casasa strikeout sponsored by First Southern Bank.
The run remains unearned. 4-3 Evansville heading to the bottom of the 9th. 1035ESPN.com. trying to keep their game, trying to keep their series, maybe trying to keep their season alive. Wawu is 1 for 4 with a single in his last at-bats. He led off the 7th with a hit. Miners led off the 8th with a walk. Could not score the go-ahead run. First pitch to Wawu is a strike. Righty versus righty. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off, back behind the plate, 0-2. For the Miners, this last week of baseball has really been tough on the psyche. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball left side. It's gloved by Long, who spins and throws down to first in time. Out number 1.
30, Jamie Smart.
Jamie Smart in this game is 0 for 2, 2 walks and 2 runs scored. Pitch by right. Over the top breaking ball, misses inside, 1-0. Pitch, fouled off to the right, out of play, 1-1. A loss here by the Miners would drop them back to 3.5 back in the wild card chase with 9 games remaining. 1-1, fouled back by Smart, it's 1-2. That's because Florence lost and River City won tonight, allowing River City to pass Florence by a half game in the overall standings. The 1-2. Breaking ball chopped up the middle to the shortstop. Fielded by Wietrich, his throw across is in time. And the Miners are down to their final out.
Now batting, number 10, Kyle Davis.
Miners are also 1 out away from dropping their 4th consecutive game for the first time all year. And being swept at home by Evansville for the first time in 8 years. Davis has the power to tie the game with 1 swing. He is homered tonight, 2 for 3, with a double as well. Walked his last time up. It's a righty-to-righty matchup. First pitch, fastball low, ball 1. The 1-0. In there for a strike, 1-1. Right is set at the belt. 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball and misses low, 2-1. 2-1 to Davis. Pitch by Wright. Swung on, popped up off of first. This is going to drift foul, and out of play it goes. Southern Illinois down to their final strike. Miners had a 2-0 and a 3-1 lead in this game. A familiar refrain over the last 7 days. Two-two pitch. Strike three. There's your ball game. If that doesn't make you sick, you're not a Miners fan.
Losing team Southern Illinois 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors. Final time of the game 3 hours, 21 minutes.
Post-game show next, 1035ESPN.com.